Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is live and in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer. Welcome back to the Duct Tape Studios. Happy holidays. It is a crazy night here in the Duct Tape Studios. I'll get to that in just a moment. But if this is your first time joining me, come on in, kick back, relax, take a load off. It's very, very casual around here. It's not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. Just hanging out, talking about tabletop gaming news. I'm Jeff McAleer. I'm your host here at the Dispatch. I also happen to be the Grand Poobah of the GamingGang.com. So if you're somebody who watches the show all the time, thank you very much. Welcome back. I'm going to say I don't think I'll have anybody in chat tonight. I highly doubt it. I'll explain that why in just a moment. Tonight is Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. This is live episode number 586. Getting ahead of myself there. It has just been a frustrating evening. Gang, I'm telling you. I'm not even sure if this stream is going out live. I'll double check before I jump into the news. Anyway, I do want to mention, if you end up liking this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And of course, if you do subscribe, don't forget, ding that bell, because not only will it let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, I'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Uber's Reich Adventures from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. So I do want to mention this is a live stream. I don't think anybody's watching it tonight. But because this is a live stream, chat is available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's how I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you stumble into this stream tonight, you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to make sure that this stream is going out, because this has just been one ungodly experience. Let's see, is this, looks like it is working. Let's see. Real quick, gonna take a peek here. It is, yeah, okay, so we are streaming live. Good deal. Cool deal. All right, so we got that out of the way. All right, before I jump into the news, I was already started off at 7 o'clock Central Time tonight. Start the stream up. Now, two things that happened before I started the stream. One, NVIDIA had updated the driver for my graphics card, and there was a Windows update. So I'm all set, got everything ready to go. Start the stream at 7 o'clock. Within 5 seconds, stream disconnects. It drops. It shows I'm at 0 frames per second, kilobits per second, I should say. And it's showing I'm dropping frames constantly, all over the place. I'm like, okay, well, that happens once in a while when we first start the stream. Sometimes there's a little bit of a hiccup, see some drop frames, and then it kind of clears out. Other times, it has been an issue. I've had to do a few different things. Sometimes I reboot my modem. Sometimes I flush my DNS, all this different stuff. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just, maybe it's just a hiccup. So I reboot, start everything up, same thing. Tried to do the stream 4 times, and 5 seconds in, it drops. If I go look at YouTube, it actually shows these videos are 5 seconds long. That's it. So, of course, I'm like, what's going on? I'm messing around with all this different stuff, and nothing is working. So finally, I just restored my system from a couple days back. And of course, stream's perfect right now. I have 0 drop frames. We are zipping along wonderfully. So now I'm going to have to see what in the world is the issue with these updates. Because, of course, I like to have the latest updates for Windows as well as for my NVIDIA card. I don't know. For some strange reason, I get the feeling more it's the NVIDIA card. Because even one of the other things that was happening is not only after 5 seconds was it dropping and it was showing 0, within a few seconds of that, it was showing my network adapter just turn off and internet got lost. I was like, what? So we're going to have to dig around, see what the problem might be. Anyway, well, at least I am getting the stream out. I wanted to make sure I shared the news tonight. I hate missing an episode for whatever reasons. And we did actually have, when the stream first started, there were like 15 people watching. Now we're probably at 0, but it is what it is. And of course, today on Twitter, I decided for a change, because I always tweet, what the news is, what companies I'm going to be covering and things like that. I thought for a change, rather than just having YouTube/The Gaming Gang, which is the channel URL, I was actually going to link to the exact video. Of course I would do that. And of course, because I did that, jeez. Oh, well. Speaking of Twitter, I also want to remind everybody out there, if you are a fan of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition from Cubicle 7 Entertainment, there is still time to get into the running to win the core bundle for Roll20. I have a code to give away to a lucky visitor, viewer, what have you, for the core bundle from Cubicle 7 Entertainment for Roll20. To win, you have to go to my Twitter, which is @thegaminggang, and pinned right up on top is a tweet saying, hey, basically, be a follower on Twitter, retweet this tweet, you're in the running. I'm going to announce the winner tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. All right, so let's jump on into the news. I'm going to rock through this as quickly as possible because, I don't know, it's only an hour and a half later than the stream normally goes out. Anyway, now available from Dragon Dawn Productions is Darwining, and I've got a breakdown. A novel trick-taking game for 2 to 6 players. Darwining challenges serious gamers, but also charms children and plays especially well as a family game. In Darwining, species are evolved by building your tableau. See if you can evolve your species through the 4 eras the best. Darwining has been played with children from 8 years old and up. One needs to be able to recognize numbers up to 15 and remember a few symbols, or alternatively, the 15 card effects. The game components do not have written text. Players can build their animal's tableau with unique traits, grow their population, move up on the food chain, or adapt to different environments by winning tricks. The game is played over 3 eras, rounds, and after the 3rd era, the most successful species wins. Darwining is for 2 to 6 players, ages 9 and up, plays in 45 to 75 minutes, does carry an MSRP of around $29.99. I believe that's going to depend on the exchange rate. I should point out, I actually have a copy of Darwining which was sent to me by Dragon Dawn Productions. So we will be taking a look at this in the very near future. I believe this game was already out before, and this is a new print run. So it will be back in stock. So I believe it's in stores right now. So you can check that out. Oops, as I bumped the old microphone. Moving right along, hitting stores in March from Dr. Finn's Games is Biblios, Quill and Parchment. Here's what I know about it. A roll and write version of the popular Biblios. The life of a monastic scribe is not easy. Every day you spend long hours in the monastery, copying books, praying, and performing tasks. Through hard work and prayer, earn the abbot's trust and display your dedication to the pious life. The object of the game is to score the most piety points. The game consists of 8 days, rounds. In the first 4 days, players simultaneously roll their own dice that show various book types, abbot influence, and travel points, and may do so up to 3 times. After each roll, the players have 3 options. 1, keep the dice as shown. 2, re-roll exactly 1 die. Or 3, re-roll all the dice. Most of the dice are resource dice showing books monks are copying, but there are also abbot influence dice. Abbot influences is accrued in the first half, but spent in the second half of the game. And a travel die, allowing a player's novice to go out into towns to do good works and find more books. In the last 4 rounds, players use their abbot influence to bid for a priority of tasks. This is a rare, if not unique, roll and write game that includes auctions, and unlike many roll and write games, it's highly interactive. After 8 days, the game ends and the players calculate their scores. As in the original Biblios, the relative value of books changes during the game, so players are unsure which books will be the most valuable until the end of the game. Biblios, Quill, and Parchment is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in around 30 to 40 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $28 when it arrives next March. Sweet. I got to say, I have seen some of these games from Dr. Finn's Games. I mean, I haven't seen them up front, up close and personal. I have run across some of them because I believe, now I might be wrong here, but I believe that Dr. Finn's Games did a Kickstarter for 4 games all at one time. And it was for all 4 games. It wasn't 4 separate Kickstarters. And the couple that I've seen some information about so far do look pretty interesting. I'll be the first to point out I have no experience with Biblios whatsoever, but it looks like it could be pretty interesting. And as the sell sheet information discusses, you don't run across too many roll and write games that actually have auctions or any interaction between the players at all, really. So this could be something to keep an eye open for early next year. Talking about early next year, arriving in January from GMT Games is Bayonets and Tomahawks. I've got the scoop. You have brought into this place the art of war, of the world beyond the ocean. But for the knowledge of these forests and the way of making war here, we have the advantage over you. Indigenous leaders to French General Montcalm, August 5th, 1757. War has broken out on the North American continent, pitting the French and British colonial empires against each other. Although they've faced off before, this time something's different. Large-scale European-style warfare transforms this theater of war. But the wilderness expanse, as well as the involvement of many indigenous nations, hampers old world tactics. Will you be ambushed in the woods like British General Braddock in 1755? Will you charge desperately against disciplined volleys like French General Montcalm in 1759? Or will you perpetuate the glory of your king in the New World? Bayonets and Tomahawks is a 2-player grand strategic game depicting the French and Indian War, which raged from 1755 to 1760, and in which France's North American Empire was conquered. Take command of either the French or British to fight all facets of the conflict: army maneuvering, diplomacy with indigenous nations, raids, battles, construction, naval operations, sieges, and more, with scenarios varying from a single year to the whole war, as well as rules for team play. Bayonets and Tomahawks is perfect for new and experienced wargamers alike. Each in-game year contains 9 action rounds, as well as 3 administrative logistics rounds. During action rounds, players use historically based cards for events and actions. This innovative system, without hand management, builds on card-driven games such as Twilight Struggle, while keeping the game accessible and fast-paced. An exciting battle system features custom dice and presents challenges that reward careful planning. Victory is achieved by capturing key spaces and conducting raids in enemy territory. Over just a few hours, relive a war that shaped the course of history in North America and beyond. Now the battle is over, but we must still win a war. It is my fondest hope that the other British generals will learn how war in America must be fought. Benjamin Franklin to George Washington, July 16th, 1755. Bayonets and Tomahawks is for 2 to 4 players. Like I said, it's 2 players, but you can have team play with 4 players. It's for ages 14 and up, plays in 2 to 6 hours, depending on the scenario. Can be had right now, still, for the P500 price of $39. It's going to actually carry an eventual MSRP of $59. Interesting. I understand now. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I could have swore I ran across some information that kind of discussed that Bayonets and Tomahawks has kind of been in the pipeline. It's been percolating for about 5 or 6 years, because I think there was a magazine that actually did an article about the game way back in 2015 when it was still being, kind of being play tested. It was still in kind of a beta as far as the eventual game. So it's taken a while for this to actually come out. But pretty cool. This is something to look forward to. I don't think there's enough French and Indian war games out there. So we get, dozens of Battle of the Bulge games all the time, but very few French and Indian War. Very cool. I'm looking forward to this. This should be pretty cool. And it is also supposed to be kind of a lower complexity game, so it might make a pretty good introduction to conflict simulations for gamers out there as well. Moving on to some role-playing game news. Now in its final days on Kickstarter for Pinnacle Entertainment is Deadlands Blood Drive. Here's the dope on the project. The newest edition of the Deadlands, the Weird West role-playing game, which is right now at the printer and shipping in early 2021, focuses on wild western tales of local horror. And what could be better than a good old-fashioned cattle drive from hell? This twisted tale takes a posse of hard-riding drovers and their Texas Longhorns from the rolling hills of Texas through swollen streams in Colorado, the mountain passes of New Mexico, the haunted prairies of Wyoming, and more. The weirdness escalates along the way, slowly exposing our heroes to the true horrors of the Weird West. So saddle up, partners, and join us on a blood drive. This gorgeous graphic novel-sized hardback contains all you need to run this epic tale of intrigue, adventure, and exploration. The story takes our heroes from greenhorn cowpunchers to hardened trail hands, letting players take on the roles of regular cowboys and cowgirls, or any mix of Deadlands' unique character types. Our archetype cards will allow players to jump into Blood Drive or any other Deadlands game quickly. We gave you a passel of pre-generated characters in the original Deadlands Kickstarter, and Set 3 adds even more ready-to-play heroes and heroines to choose from. This project features 3 sheets of Deadlands pawns, containing a selection of characters and critters, and brand new terrain pieces as well. We'll supplement your maps with campfires, a chuck wagon, hanging trees, and other bits you'll find useful for Blood Drive or your own outdoor adventures, all printed on thick die-cut punchboard. The project also includes infernal device cards, map packs. There are a few different things going on with this project. You can get a board in print or digital, your choice. starting at a $25 pledge. You can go all in and actually get all the print, digital, and virtual tabletop assets for a $60 pledge through December 14th. This project is over 1,600% funded. Yes, you heard me right, 1,600%. Expected delivery is next May. Nice. I'm sure folks out there are thinking, well, wait a second, Deadlands Blood Drive. I've heard of that before. What's going on? This is an adventure that had come out for the previous edition of Deadlands. I think it was 3 parts. I think it was 3 separate adventures. They are all collected in one book, and they are revised for the new edition that's coming out early next year. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I got to be honest, when Deadlands first came out, and I'm talking when it first came out, I picked it up and I thought, wow, this is such a cool, interesting, just bizarre sort of settings. I was like, wow, this is super cool. And I never ran it. I was always running Call of Cthulhu. Never ran any Deadlands, but I would pick up the Deadlands books that would come out. I've got the, what were they called? I think they were Penny Dreadfuls, I thought they called them. They were small, kind of digest-sized adventures. I had picked those up. It's just kind of funny. Back in the day, I used to get a lot of role-playing game releases just to read them, just to kind of keep up on them. And I always thought Deadlands was a very cool system, very cool setting. So I'd be honestly very curious to see what this new edition, which is coming out early next year, is going to look like as well. All right, my final news piece, now available in softcover and PDF from author Aaron A. Reed, is the adventure Skycrawl. I've got the skinny. In a weird, whimsical, endless sky, villages cling to small, rocky spheres lit by sentient suns. Brave souls voyage far beyond the reach of gravity toward rootless mountains in far-flung orbits. And strange sky beasts swim wild through vast and distant twilights. Welcome to the Azure Etern. This supplement for any fantasy role-playing game system gives you the rules and inspiration to run your own hex crawl-style adventure in an infinite sky. Handle dangerous voyages through the clouds with a strategic journey system. Learn the secrets of orcery, or orcery, to distill alchemical secrets from the winds. Generate new flying peoples and ships of all descriptions, and peruse so many adventure seeds and encounter ideas, you won't remember which way is up. Not that you'll need to. Skycrawl features the same core system as bestseller Downcrawl, improved and extended with new rules and an entirely original setting. Gives GMs tools to create a player-driven hex crawl in an infinite sky that maintains a sense of wonder and narrative momentum. Build a paper orrery at the table, charting the positions of floating lands as they whirl through the sky in eccentric orbits. If you sail too far from home, it might not be there by the time you get back. It's chock full of useful tables for GMs, including 100 unique atmospheres to sail through. Roll dice to generate weird, story-rich lands for players to explore, or grab some pre-generated ones. Each land is home to strange new peoples, and there's a generator for those too. There's several drop-in systems to help aid airship adventures to your campaign. I should say add airship adventures to your campaign. With rules that put the focus on rolling on success or complications rather than success or failure. Gorgeous woodcut illustrations are found throughout, and even more tools for GMs to help run a good Skycrawl. Skycrawl is by the author of Any award-winning Archives of the Sky and Downcrawl, which is a gold bestseller over at DriveThruRPG. This 75-page PDF is available from the aforementioned DriveThruRPG. It's in softcover if you'd like, with the PDF for $15, or you can get just the PDF alone for $8. This looks really interesting, and I have always heard good things about Downcrawl and Archives of the Sky. I have not seen them. I have not had an opportunity to check them out, but I have always heard good buzz. And of course, you don't win any's by not putting out, interesting concepts. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So this is definitely something for you to maybe keep an eye out, especially if you're running. I get the feeling this is probably really good for old school Renaissance sort of games, as opposed to, like 5e. Not to say you can't use this for 5e. I'm just saying it's probably a little more gonzo than what you would normally expect for 5th edition or Pathfinder. Anyway, I should mention this is available at Drive-Thru RPG once again. And of course, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those little portions really add up. Cool deal. All right, that is it for the news tonight. A couple of things real quick I want to toss out there. Once again, I don't think anybody's watching the stream right now. Either that or chat's not working. One of the two. And that would just be the icing on the cake for tonight. That's okay. I haven't had any major problems in a while. But never fails. It's always something, right? Anyway, so today I received Dungeon Pets, which is from the Zine Crawl, right? Oh, Zine Quest, which was a Kickstarter. And I think this is the first one. And I'm pretty pumped to take a look at this because it's all filled with basically monsters, creatures. I think they're kind of designed. Whoops. I don't think this is a sticker. I think this is supposed to be a little bookmark that's in there. It's like one of the little monsters. This looks really cool. This looks really neat. So I'm looking forward to dive into this. So it has 23 unique dungeon pets. And there's rules to use this with all different systems. I was taking a peek, and there's anything from D&D to RuneQuest to Traveler. It's like, wow, kind of neat. So stay tuned. I will be taking a peek at this. I don't think I'll do just a page through first look. I'm going to do the review with the page through. So there's that. Later on tonight, actually, it would have been up now because I would have been done with the show about an hour and a half ago. Anyway, later on tonight, I will have my unboxing and first look at Perdition's Mouth, Abyssal Rift, Revised Edition. So this is a pretty long unboxing. That is from Dragon Dawn Productions. If you recall, I was just talking about Darwining. It's my first news piece as well. So that'll be up tonight. I also have, where did it go? Of course, it's up. There we go. I've got my review of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Ubersreich Adventures. This will be up in the next day or two. If you've been watching the show, I've been mentioning that I'm doing my best to have a brand new video up every day through Christmas. Just as kind of as a treat, kind of as a holiday treat for everybody. Stay tuned. I will have my review of the Pathfinder Beginner Box. This should be up within a couple of days. And I also have my review for the Excellence from 9th Level Games on the horizon as well. There's Lost Ruins of Arnak. I've got Alien. I've got a bunch of stuff. Got a bunch of stuff on the horizon. So stay tuned. But as I mentioned, later on tonight, it's already uploaded. It's in the bag. It's ready to go. So I will actually make public the unboxing of Perdition's Mouth, Abyssal Rift, Revised Edition. It's kind of a mouthful, right? All right, that is it for tonight's show. Once again, my apologies, gang. I'm going to have to dig in once I do my updates in that to find out what exactly caused this problem tonight so I can nip it in the bud Because, like I said, once I rolled back the driver for NVIDIA and my Windows update, we are pristine. We haven't dropped a frame yet. So, don't know. All right, once again, if you happen to like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because not only will it let you know when the dispatch airs live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll also inform you of other videos, such as my upcoming review for the Pathfinder Beginner Box, Pathfinder 2nd Edition Beginner Box. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. If anybody watched live, thank you very much. I highly doubt anybody hung out an hour and a half after I usually stream to catch this. But if you watch this after the fact, also appreciate that tremendously as well. And of course, as I wrap up all of my videos during this never-ending pandemic, here's hoping all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, by all means, click right here. And if you'd like to check out one of our recent live streams, click right up top. And if you want to roll the dice and see what the algorithm for YouTube recommends, click right here. And of course, thank you once again for watching. And gang, please stay safe and wear a mask.